But now we are switching gears. What are we working on now? Ta-da! Maidroid Chloe. Sexy cat girl maid model kit. I have no shame. No, I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think it's that bad. And I started this not too long ago, the last time I streamed. So it's still early days with this model. But we are making progress, and it's actually not that... It's not that complex of a model. I feel like the other model that I recently worked on was much harder. Ritsuka Saiki. However, that might also be due to the fact that that was my first real kind of significant model kit since coming back to this hobby. So here we are. And let's get to the page where we're at. This is how the model will look when it's done. It's pretty cool, actually. I think it's pretty neat. I think the vacuum cleaner is very funny. But she doesn't have a lot of accessories compared to Megami device models, compared to models of a similar price point, because this was like kind of expensive for me. It felt a little pricey, and it doesn't come with as many cool little extra things compared to something like a Megami device kit from the same sort of price range, I guess. But I like this design, and this is I like the design more than whatever else that the store had at the time. So I was like, let's go. And yeah, I had seen this in a review, and it looked pretty neat to me. So let's continue. All of her parts thus far are here in this little tub. And I've done a couple of extra steps in terms of like cleaning and polishing, removing mold lines that I did not do off stream. Did a bit of that while watching Twin Peaks, by the way. And so yeah, we're making progress. Vanilla looking oh wait, I read that. You're going for a sandwich then? I want a sandwich too. What kind of sandwich? I could go for a grilled cheese sandwich. I know that's rather basic, but that's like that's the first kind of sandwich that floated into my brain once you said you're gonna go for a sandwich. I was like, grilled cheese. All right, let us commence the festivities. We need. Oh, you know, this is a flaw on my part, but I always just assume people here are from like America. I don't know. That's actually very bad of me to make that assumption, but that's really cool. That's really cool. Spain. Never been. Pretty sure my mom went to Spain once. She like did this like trip around the world kind of thing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure she mentioned going to Spain. I'd like to do something like that one day. Okay, let's continue sanding. Woo! That is loud. It's going east. Not that that really matters for the folks listening at home, but it's a train heading east. It's a hype train. Okay, let's try this now and see how the fit is. Am I orienting this properly? I think so. No. Unless, okay, there we go. It went in. So long as it goes in with only a medium amount of force, then we're good. I don't want it to go in with like a tremendous amount of force, therefore there would be just far too much friction. But I also don't want it to be going inside too easily such that it's super loose. You want a bit of friction, a bit of tension there, because you know, the arms will be holding weapons and stuff, and if it's too loose, if the fit is too loose, then it's just not gonna hold. Goro, you missed so much, and yet you missed nothing really that important. I was just doing what I'm doing, you know how it goes. But welcome Goro, how are you doing? Watching Twin Peaks? That's what she said. You must be close to finishing up The Return now at this point. Goro? Not Slide. How much art history did you study, and how much Garfield do you like? There's like this Venn diagram where the circles like somewhat overlap. The study of art history and Garfield. I studied a fair amount of art history in high school, and then when I went to college, we had to also study art history as well in art college. It wasn't a super intense program regarding my college studies, but it was pretty cool. And as far as Garfield goes, I've kind of gone back and forth on Garfield. I think I really enjoyed Garfield as a kid, right? In fact, I used to study... Uh-oh, I bring a gift. I used to study the Garfield comic strip and all comic strips, right? And I distinctly remember as a kid copying how all the eyes were drawn in the comic strips. How are Peanuts? How do they draw the eyes in Peanuts? How did they draw the eyes in Garfield? I did that for every comic strip, and it was only specifically the eyes. I'm pretty sure I wanted to learn how to draw all the characters, but I started with the eyes. But of course, eventually you get to a certain point, and it seemed like the world kind of turned on Garfield. It was like, I don't know, and I definitely was part of that too. I kind of felt like Garfield's trash, sucks, and then you kind of get over it. And now I'm like, yeah, he's all right. Garfield's all right. It's completely harmless. Why you gotta hate on Garfield? Let me take a look at this. Goro never turned on Garfield. Goro's a loyalist. You never betrayed him. You always stuck with him through the thick and thin. It was around the time where the comic strip came out, those edited comic strips where they take out what's his name? Joe? The human? Oh boy, I'm looking at this now. This is awesome. Hieronymus Garf. Yo, this is awesome. I love it. I love it. I could stare at this for hours. I'm all about that. John. What did I say? Larry? Paul? You love those quaint, wholesome 3-panel gags with John. Do you recall the thing that I was talking about, though? The edited comic strips where they took out Garfield's dialogue, so it's just John talking to a normal ass cat and complaining about things, and it's just a very lonely portrait of a man. It's pretty funny, pretty fascinating. I'm glad that Garfield has kind of had this second win, so to speak, in his life now, where he's like this meme. I'm glad. Good for him. Good for you, Garfield. Enjoy your meme life. Okay. I'm putting the pieces together very loosely because I might need to do some extra things to the parts to bond them together. So much of it was just Garfield switching expressions. I don't care. It's so dark. Garf. So are you guys down with morbing time? Is that over now? Is morbing time over? Or are we still morbing time? You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do. That's an instance where like Hollywood and a bunch of executives caught wind of a meme that was going around and was like, "It's morbing time? Does that mean we can make money? Let's put it back into theaters." I'm referring to Morbius, the awful movie Morbius, not that I've seen it. And you guys know the deal about morbing time, but it's just very, very funny to me that they brought it back into theaters with the explicit purpose of capitalizing on the meme. And then it fell on its face flat again. So it's the rare instance where a movie has flopped twice. Like, it's remarkable. It's amazing. I love it. I'm reveling in the floppitude. I'm loving it. That was great. Goro, a new Garfield movie should be meta like that, the way Chip and Dale's kind of is. I could see that happening. To be honest, I could see that happening because we're reaching a point now where a Chip and Dale movie comes out and it's not really intended for kids. It's for people that grew up with the show and now they're all adults. And the same can be said about Garfield. Not slide. Morbin is kind of over now because Jared Leto made the tweet. Oh, I didn't see that Jared Leto made a tweet. He was like, "Man, I really don't like Jared Leto. How do you guys feel about Jared Leto? Like, something about that guy just rubs me the wrong way. I feel like he just takes himself far too seriously, or he's not as talented as he really is. Like I don't know. That guy just kind of pisses me off somehow." I was in on it and then immediately out. Oh, so Not Slide is out. He's out of morbing time. He's no longer morbing. It was crazy how quickly that came and went then, because I was just browsing on Twitch, like makers and crafting, and I saw a VTuber that just had a hat that said morbing time, and it was like everyone understood. Morbing time. That's all you need to know. Morbing time. Now you are in on the meme. Now you are in on the joke. Kind of like the thanks Obama gag. Yeah. That lasted a little longer, I think. Goro, the idiot from Uber left my food at the wrong spot? What the hell? Luckily it was just my neighbor's door, and I only had to walk like 2 feet to get it. That sucks. What the hell? Didn't something really shitty happen to you regarding your food? Like, oh, Leto's the moron. Also, that guy, your Uber guy, was also kind of dumb. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Hello, I am Jared Leto. That's my impersonation of Jared Leto. I don't really know how he sounds. His Joker, though, holy crap, so bad. What time is it? Wow. Let me put the volume up on this. I'm gonna take off my mic. Man, get the hell out of here. Alright, alright, alright. He even added the audio. What was that, Arrested Development? Or no, that David, what was it called? I forget the name of that show. I was just thinking to myself, what would have been the better play for Jared Leto? Maybe the best play would be never to acknowledge morbing time at all. Right? Just never acknowledge it. Because once he starts to like lean into it, it's like, dude, get out of here. This is not for you. You're not a part of this. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Jared Leto. I have to say that I thought that the entire Morbius thing was a joke to begin with. Like the fact that they were even gonna make a movie about Morbius. I'm like, why? Why make a movie about this guy? For this guy? He's like a second-rate Spider-Man villain. Is he even second-rate? He might even be worse than that. Like, come on. Alright, woo! Oh, this thing fell off? Maybe I'll put it in a little more firmly, but again, I want to leave a bit of space to take it out. And then we're gonna put this in like this. Here we are. And then this thing goes here. Like this. There we go. There is one arm kinda sorta done. And now we have to make another arm. Oh no, we have to do the hands. Come get these hands. But I hate Ezra Miller more, Goro. Yeah. Not slide. They changed his power set for the movie, so it's trash. I have to admit that I'm not even very familiar with Morbius's power set. He can do vampire stuff, like everything that a vampire can do. That's like what Morbius can do, right? Like, what else? What else does he have going for him? I can turn into a bat, and I can turn into smoke, so I have that going for me. I don't know if that's how he sounds. That's when I picture Jared Leto, that's the voice I imagine in my head. Do you know that in Fight Club, there's that part where Tyler Durden just smashes a guy's face continually? He beats a guy up to a pulp, and everyone just watches. And when they ask him after, why did he do that? Brad Pitt says, like, I just wanted to destroy something beautiful. That beautiful man, Jared Leto. And I always think about that. I was like, the one memorable role for Jared Leto, for me at least, was the role where he was just getting punched in the face repeatedly. That's the only, like, I know he's been Joker and everything, but that's really the main thing that I recall and remember him for, is just getting punched in the face a bunch of times. Goro, but you can make a D-lister cool. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy or Doom Patrol. True, true, true. Peacemaker. Very true, very true. I never saw Morbius. I've just heard things. As far as I know, he's a vampire. Yeah, like, that's... Whatever a vampire can do, that's what he could do. That could have been totally cool. Yeah, I guess you're right. It just... Man, I just don't see it, though. Like... It would take a talented director and a talented actor. You know, even Blade, it was kind of like... It was just like, who the hell is Blade? Why do we care, right? And then they made us care. They made 4 movies, a TV show, and they're going to make another movie, right? So eventually, people really latched onto Blade, enjoyed the Daywalker. So yeah, you're right. Let's get out the hands. We need the hands. Come get these hands. Not Slide. He had suction cups on his hands for drinking blood. That's in the movie? The hell? In the movie, he's just a vampire. Holes in his hands? Hell yeah. Wait. So which one has holes in his hands? Like the comic book character? Oh, and that's the cool thing. I'd have to see this. Carl, I like it when Bale kills him with an axe in American Psycho. Oh, really? For me, it's him being killed by Bale. The comic has... What about the cartoon? Did the 90s cartoon have whole hand Morbius? Yeah, I feel like... So... I feel like I have a decent knowledge when it comes to comic books, but I did not know about these whole hands. Interesting. So the sculpting on these hands, it seems a little less refined than Ritsuka Saiki and the Sosai Shoujo Teian line. These hands seem a little more... what's the word I'm looking for? It's a little more chunky. A little more toy-like looking, maybe? But we'll have to see. We'll have to see when the whole model is done. Let's put these hands away. And we gotta put this together. I have also, man, like what Sony Pictures is doing with their whole Spider Universe thing, it's just completely baffling. It's just, I'm just so lost, and I kind of want them to stop. Just stop, guys. Venom, you guys had something with Venom because Venom is cool, but just stop. No one wants to see Morbius. No one wants to see Madame Web. No one wants to see Silver Sable. Do you know what? Did you know that at one point they had plans to make a Aunt May and Ben Parker movie, like them when they were young? Or was it Peter's parents? It could have been a movie about Peter's parents, but I think it was about Aunt May just being young. And it's like, guys, you really don't understand. No one cares. I don't even care if they were spies. Like, that was the thing about Peter's parents. There was this comic story where it was like, they were secret agent spies or something, you guys. But for the most part, I feel like that plot line has been thrown out the window because it's dumb too. not slide, and then he leaves little holes all over people's faces. Okay, time for some links. Time for some links. Let me see these. Oh, there they are. There's the holes. Okay. Yeah, and that's the cartoon. Nice. I may have deleted that from my memory. Or over time my brain decided that retaining the knowledge of holes in his hands was not important. I probably needed to remember something else. But that's amazing. What's this other one? Ooh, there's the holes on his face. Gross. You know what? In a movie, that could be pretty neat. That could be something. Maybe. My initial reaction when you told me this, I thought you were referring to the movie having holes in his hands, and I was like, that's dumb. But I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm going to create a petition to Sony to release the whole hand cut. It's the exact same movie, it's just that he has holes in his hands now. Release the whole hand cut. Do you guys remember when the first Spider-Man movie came out? And well, prior to the release, there was just so many people all up in arms. There's one arm. Speaking of being up in arms, here's one arm finally completed. All up in arms about Spidey having organic web shooters. Do you guys remember that? It was like a tremendous sin. How dare you? How dare you give Spider-Man organic web shooters? This movie's going to be terrible. And yet the movie comes out, and sure, it's a little weird, but everyone got on board, and it's a classic. I think it's a classic, at least. And then they kind of have a little gag about that in a certain new movie, which I realize maybe I shouldn't spoil, although it has been a few months. Goro, I hate all that shit, making the Wayne special, making the Parkers a spy, it's nonsense. Yeah, it's, why can't people be regular people? Even, there's been some effort in comics to make Peter the one, make Peter somebody, somehow, special. And it's like, oh, you know what? Even in Amazing Spider-Man, that was a thing too, was they were kind of angling towards Peter being special and the one in some respects. And I was like, oh, I hate that. Why can't he just be a regular kid that just gets into an accident and then becomes Spider-Man? Why does everyone have to become the one? The one. Spider-Man the Other did that in the comics. It was a weird arc. Referring to what? Sorry, I may have been late to check the chat there. Gore, to me, it made more sense. I mean, it's crazy enough that he gets bitten by a spider, but now he's also a genius who's invented his own super material. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think, organic webbing. Oh, the Other, okay. Have I read that? Or I may have seen some pictures of that. Yeah, I feel like for me, the organic webbing, I was like, I don't know if I like that. But by the time I saw the movie, it was fine. Like Peter's supposed to be smart, so I can accept that he could make a really amazing web fluid thing. I can kind of get on board with that. But like that's sort of like the extent of his brilliance. You know what I'm saying? He's not Tony Stark. He's not Bruce Banner. Although I'm sure that in some comics he approaches that level of intellect. Yeah, in my opinion, he shouldn't be that much smarter. Although in the movies, he definitely is very, very smart. Smarter than I would have even given him credit for, but that's cool. There's nothing wrong with a smart kid. Goro, even with Bruce Wayne, it's a sensational story because the Waynes were ordinary rich people, ridiculously influential and wealthy, but not part of some old family that founded family and had all of these plans. Oh, referring to like Court of Owls or something. Making them special, or making the Parker special, it creates this idea of chosen tribes, chosen lines of people, and not the spontaneous rise of the individual in a way. I'm with you on that. And that robs superheroes of something rather fundamental. Yeah, I'm with you on that. You put that in such a, put that so eloquently that I feel like more people need to hear about that. Although, yeah, like maybe Sony did get the memo, right? Because that was what they were angling towards with Peter, and then it's dropped, right? They are not pursuing that with our boy Tom Holland. Okay. Which is which? I think this goes this way. Oh, we got a bit of a nub. Let's get rid of that nub. Ta-da! Nub be gone. And I think this is right. Is this correctamundo? Think it's time for a music switch. Not slide. The tribal shift lines up with all of comics shifting along to be about a mantle of the hero rather than the hero. Interesting. 80 million Batmans, 80 million Spider-Mans. Good point, says Goro. Everything has to be a brand, and it sucks. Oh, that also cheapens business tactics. They can't sell Superman or Aquaman anymore, but if they made every title Batman or Spider-Man, they can hope to break even. Comic companies are desperate in spite of the boom in superhero films in Hollywood. Not like Superman's a mantle now, and I expect the same for Aquaman too. I don't know how you do it for Aquaman. So, an interesting thing about that's actually a really good point there, not slide. And it makes me think about the difference between Western comics, American comics, and Japanese manga, where, you have a thriving industry of sequential storytelling in Japan, and yet their business model, their method for telling these stories, it does differ from the American style. And what I mean by that is, I feel like in Japan, stories are allowed to end. If you look at something like, for example, Attack on Titan, which ended sometime last year in the manga, or another very popular property, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, those are stories that just have been allowed to end, right? And long-running stories, like, for example, Naruto, which ran for a very, very long time, and One Piece now, those, while they're still going on to this day, there will be, at a certain point in time, probably sooner rather than later, where they're going to end. And I think that's a very foreign notion to American comic book companies, because imagine if Spider-Man, for example, as popular as it was back then and has continued to become popular now, what if it ended? What if there was a set ending for Spider-Man? Stan Lee and Steve Ditko were like, yeah, it's gonna end in issue 50. See, I don't know why Stan Lee talks like that, but or Superman. What if there was a very set in stone ending for for the story of Superman? These stories are allowed to end, and the creators are then allowed to pursue something else. The creators are allowed to try something different. It doesn't always happen that way, by the way. Like, for example, the creator of Naruto has gone and now he's making Boruto, like the son of Naruto, right? But at the very least, the characters were allowed to age and we're passing on to a different story. And yeah, that just seems very different to me than the American style. Because instead of saying Spider-Man ends, this story's gonna end, it's just like it keeps on going, it keeps on going. You know, years and years now, we just continue to have Spider-Man stories. Detective Conan? Wait, is there a Detective Conan? Oh, wait, Detective. When you say Conan, I'm thinking of the Barbarian. But yeah, yeah, Detective Conan. That's been going on forever, right? That manga. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's an example of something that's gone on forever. And I guess yeah, and even Dragon Ball as well, right? Dragon Ball has been going on for a long ass time. So yeah, it's not cut and dry. There are examples of of it of manga stories continuing for sure. The fit on this is a little weird to me. It doesn't seem to want to really clamp in. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let's take a quick look here. Barbarian Conan would not be a very good detective. Vanilla. But I think we're onto something here. Because I would read that comic. Detective Conan. He's going around trying to solve mysteries in Hyboria. Maybe he swore an oath not to like use his sword and rather use like his cunning mind, use his brilliant mind, and he just has to, and he's just like constantly fighting the urge to kill, to solve problems. And instead, he has to do things peacefully and resolve issues by mediation and detective work. I buy it. I'd be the only one though. T2 and T6. Not slide. Obviously there are exceptions and I'm being a butt. Oh, Conan's pretty smart. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, Conan's pretty smart. He's definitely Unga Bunga. Unga Bunga. Aren't we supposed to be getting a new Conan movie, like with Arnold back in the role? I thought I read that somewhere. That's going to be kind of interesting. I mean, it could be crap, like all the new Terminator movies, but you never know. Unga Bunga. Yeah, I have to confess, I haven't really read any Conan comics ever at all. I don't think so. I know that Goro's a fan of Conan. Let us how are we doing for time, folks? Okay, let's finish up this page at least, and then we will take stock of the situation and see where we're at. I started a little early today because I just felt like if I started earlier, then I could go on for a little longer. But I also never really streamed for longer than 3 hours. I think a couple times I've streamed for like 4 hours or so. But yeah, 3 hours is basically my max limit, and then I collapse into I just fade away actually, like a Jedi. I just fade away. Just turn into a crumpled pile of rags. Okay. How does this go? Okay, it goes like this. I was imagining Barbarian Conan in the modern world. I would read that too. In fact, man, has that happened? There's been so many Conan comics, I feel like that may have even happened. I know that, so, Marvel for a time published Conan comics, and I think that that's going to end very soon. I thought I read something about that, but they did publish a line of comics called, like, someone might be more familiar, but it was something like Ancient Avengers or Primitive Avengers or something. And it was like Conan was part of the Avengers. How cool is that? So I would like to see that. Okay. Like, I don't even know who else was on that team. So I also don't know what to go on with this thing. It's not going on properly. There might be some sort of peg that's in the way that's making it not fit properly. So we will take a look at that later. Let us carry on. Slide recently, they lost the license. Yeah. I thought I read that fairly recently. There was a story arc with Conan and Moon Knight? Dude. That sounds pretty awesome. Vanilla, what? What are we waiting for then? Let's write a new Conan comic. Wait a minute. Hey, is Conan part of what do they call it? Creative Commons now? Has it passed into free? What's the term I'm looking for? You guys know what I'm talking about. Open license. Has it elapsed into that just yet? Because if he has, let's go. Public domain and no. Oh yeah, I keep on forgetting that term, public domain. I always want to say open source. I always want to say that instead. But it hasn't yet. 6 more years? Oh shit. 6 more years. Not bad. Is there a website I can go to where I can just like watch like a counter go down for all sorts of public domain characters that or characters that will pass into public domain? That would be kind of fun to watch. Let's reconvene in 6 years, and we'll have a Conan public domain party. It'll be like a birthday party. It'll be like his bar mitzvah or something. We'll be like, hooray! You did it, Conan. Now we can tell all sorts of weird sci-fi stories about you. Winnie the Pooh, the book, is public domain now? Oh, interesting. Has anyone done something interesting with that just yet? Has anyone made a Winnie the Pooh murder mystery? Or a Winnie the Pooh thriller in the fashion of Seven, except it's Winnie the Pooh and the Hollow Oaks crew, or whatever they're called? Sleepy, what are they? Thousand Acre Wood. Has anyone done that? But I guess you'd have to be careful to use characters that are purely from the books and not the invention of Disney. Someone's doing an edgy horror movie. Just watch the new Winnie the Pooh trailer. Is it? Hold on. Is it weird? Am I in for some kind of weird, creepy thing? That'd be pretty funny. And I actually didn't even know there was going to be a new one. What time is it? Ah, we're still making pretty good time. Still making pretty good time. Can go on. Might take another break, just a tiny little one, soonish, or not. Maybe what I should get is one of those redemption rewards for water or stretching break. Maybe I need one of those things. Seems like a good idea because I tend to press on and forget. Okay. Weird is not enough. Weird is not the word? I'm curious. I'm going to check that out after I stream. And I don't know why this is not fitting in nicely. This is weirding me out. Why? When things like this happen, there could be some kind of extra bit of material that needs to be cut off, and I think I found the culprit. Maybe is it this? Could be some extra nubbage that we don't want. Say no to nubs. Okay, that looks okay. Actually, I'm really curious. Shoot me a link. I want to see this. I'll watch it on my second screen. Is it not by Disney? Okay. Okay. Maybe I got something wrong in terms of the orientation. Let me see. Okay, here's this thing. There's this T-shaped peg, and we put the T-shaped peg into the T-shaped hole. This seems pretty straightforward. Now, we take this part, and this has just an I-shaped peg, and we put the I-shaped peg in the I-shaped hole. Yeah, and it's not really going in. I feel like it wants to spring out. It wants to just jump out. And why is it doing that? The world will never know. This is why I can't be a detective, because I can't solve these mysteries. But let's do a little trim on this I-shaped peg, and maybe it'll fit better. Let's try that. Oh, it's made by a total random person. It's his first movie, I believe. Okay, I'll take a look. I'll take a look later. I was thinking, oh, it's Disney? They made something really weird? What's going on? So this will stick so long as I glue it now. Maybe we'll just do that, because I'm gonna need this to at least stick a little bit before I glue all this stuff, right? Right? I mean, this can only fit this way. It cannot fit any other way. Alright, let's do a bit of gluing. And to do that, we should lay down some paper, because if I spill this glue, it's gonna make a big old mess, and then I'll cry. Okay, let's put this on here. And where is my cement glue? Cement glue? Anybody? Anybody? No. Oh, here it is. Wow. It's just staring me right in the face. Okay, we need to press down on this to make sure that it's gonna adhere. That was weird. It just doesn't want to fit. It doesn't want to stay. Why? Anyways. Be that way. Oh, you saw it, Goro? Gotta squeeze, but I also don't want to get my fingerprints on it. I should get clamps. Clamps. Let's just hold this like this for a bit. We're just going to make sure this forms a bond. I'm pretty sure there's a Canadian connection to Winnie the Pooh. I think that the actual bear that the British soldier, he was like traveling, or he was in America, and the bear, he went to a zoo, and yeah, he saw Winnie the Pooh, the actual bear, and then he decided to make stories about it. I think that's the Canadian connection. So every now and then, when you're watching Canadian TV, they'll run a commercial called the Canadian Heritage Moment, right? It's supposed to make you feel good about your country. And they have little things like that, and like the inventor of basketball. They have like a Canadian Heritage Moment for James Naismith, I think that's his name. Actually, his birthplace, his town, is actually kind of close to where I live, I think. I saw it in a travel brochure. Alright, there we go. Okay. And Superman? Oh, did they make a weird Superman fan film too? Or that it's going to be happening? Okay, so we've done 20 and 21. Now we need... Oh no, we need F17. There we are. Oh, was there really a Superman Heritage Moment? I don't think I've seen that one. I'm pretty sure they're just available to watch online. These Canadian Heritage Moments. Joel Schuster getting on a train in Toronto, giving some woman a sketch of... Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it. Yeah. Because Metropolis itself was supposed to be modeled after Toronto, right? It's pretty interesting. And then in Dundas Square, which is an area in downtown Toronto, somewhat analogous to Times Square, but not really. uh, Dundas Square, there used to be this statue of Superman overlooking the plaza, I think, or that was in the original concept art for the plaza that they were going to put a statue of Superman there. But I don't think that actually happened. I don't think that they did that. Otherwise, I would have had photos of it, right? I totally would have took pictures. Canadian Heritage Moment. And then I remember about the basketball one. That he invents basketball. These college students are playing his freaking game for the first time. But there's like a janitor close by who's like, I hate having to get up on this ladder every time and poking out the ball with with a broom or something, right? Because he invented basketball, but he didn't think about like cutting a hole into the basket. So they had the janitor, like, the custodian, just constantly going up a ladder after every goal, after every point, and removing the ball. So James Naismith, in his sheer brilliance, was like, I know, we'll cut a hole. We'll cut a hole in the peach basket, and then I will have invented basketball. And I think there's this line where the guy's like, but what about the basket? Now I can't put peaches in it. Some shit like that. Canadian Heritage Moment. Hey. Some countries, maybe there was like a tremendous revolution, right? Maybe there was like famous paintings and famous amazing buildings and architecture being erected. 7 wonders of the world. Maybe some countries have pyramids. Canada, we invented basketball. A guy went up a ladder and then poked out the balls. That's a Canadian Heritage Moment. The country of Canada just thought that we needed to make a commercial out of that. Everyone needed to know. Okay, we need to take out these hands. Where are the other hand parts? Here we are. We are very close to finishing the final step of page 9. And after that, we will be on step 24, which is creating the legs. But we'll see how I feel. We'll see how I feel after these next few clippings. That'd be cool if they filmed a Superman movie in Toronto to be Metropolis. That would be pretty fun. I mean, what movie was it? Oh, Scott Pilgrim was filmed in Toronto. Kick-Ass, the first movie, was filmed in Toronto. What was it? Oh, The Incredible Hulk, the first Hulk movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the only Hulk movie, by the way. That was filmed in Toronto. And fun fact, I was actually downtown with Night Trap, my brother. We were there while they were filming. We were downtown to buy comic books, very apropos. Just walking down the street on, was it Yonge Street? I forget. And suddenly, we just noticed that like everything started to feel different, like from the normal Toronto, right? Or should I say Toronto? And I want to get to that about Toronto a little later, but just walking along. Ooh, is this upside down? Is this upside down? Hold on. Ooh. Which way is it? Which way does this go? I think it goes like this. Okay. And we start noticing that the garbage cans look different than your normal Toronto garbage cans. It's like, what's going on? In fact, the garbage cans say New York City. And then there was like this labeling on the cans that said something along the lines of like, not real garbage, do not use. Not a real garbage can, do not use. What the fuck is going on? So we're looking, and it turns out that they're filming The Incredible Hulk, where we are downtown for comic books, and a comic book is happening right around, like right in front of our very eyes. A movie is happening and being filmed. That was pretty fun. Is Smallville in Oakville then? Oh, it should be then. That would be kind of funny. Is there another Ville in Ontario that could also be Smallville? It could be. That would be pretty funny. Especially around the time, right? I'm sure Oakville, back when Simon Schuster was around, was probably a very small town. But have you guys seen that trailer for this new Netflix movie starring Kevin Hart called The Man from Toronto? Have you seen that? There's this new movie. It stars Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson. And the trailer is like whatever, right? It's a comedy. Everyone mistakes Kevin Hart as the man from Toronto. Kind of want to make the weekends the day I play games. Somehow that makes sense to me. And I downloaded a new game, or new to me that is, Darkest Dungeon. I don't know if anyone's played that, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. And to be fair, I didn't really give it a chance when I just fired it up to see if it would even run on my computer or something. I just fired it up, and it was like, okay, it looks fine, but I barely played any. And I don't know if it's gonna be like a game that I'm super interested in playing, but again, to be fair, I barely played it, so I cannot judge. Ooh, some of these parts are fitting really snugly, which I don't like. Goro, so quickly before I get back to Twin Peaks, yes, black as midnight on a moonless night, yep. Also, dude, the return of Cooper was amazing. Yes. So you're back. You're on board with that. Yeah, because I remember you were saying like if they just stick with Dougie, you would be kind of fine with that. And I just had my, I was just listening patiently. I didn't want to say anything one way or the other. But yeah, the return was of, it's called the return, right? And he's just like, it's like he hasn't missed a beat. He's just super efficient, super cool. It was Dale. It was so nice to see him back. So cool. It's incredible how his performance was so explosive as he switched. Yes, you could see it. Like the moment just it just switches over in his head. That was so cool. That was so nice. I can't wait to get to that part. In fact, maybe I'll just watch a clip of that online somewhere. Because as I said, I'm watching it from the start. So I have yet to actually get to that part. Alright guys, tell you what. We are close to wrapping things up. But let's just assemble Maydroid Chloe a little bit. Just to get an idea of where we are with this model. Let's see. Okay, then this part goes here. We also have her underoos, but there's no point in putting that in just yet, just because so far the underoos just kind of float on this sort of Y clothes hanger looking part. So there's no real point. And we have the hands here. And these these parts also just float. Yes. Just like that. They did preview at the Shizuoka Hobby Show more models from this range, but I have to say that I'm not sure if I'm very excited about them. We will see. Because they just look, I don't know, they just look straight up like there's nothing to the imagination, there's nothing else to it. They're just girls in lingerie. I was like, come on now. That's it. Oh, and this peg goes in here. Some parts are loosely fitted. We will have to make sure that's a nice tight fit.